For the longest time, my favorite genre of anime was cute girls doing cute things. As soon as I saw K-On! In particular, I was entranced. Never before have I grown to love a cast of characters so much. Above all, that's what's supposed to make the genre so good. It throws away dumb shit like action, romance, plot, or anything else you'd expect a good story to have, and simply has the characters carry the series. It's that sort of confidence a writer can have for them to be able to carry a series exclusively off characters. Of course, the style of writing isn't unique to CGDCT, or even slice of life as a whole, but I find that these series have what I'm looking for the most. That's why when I began to watch more within the genre, the more disappointed I started to feel. It's not to say the rest of the genre is bad, it's more so that nothing within it gravitated toward me as much as K-On! Did. Some series, like Lucky Star, came close, but it still didn't fill the void. Of course, I wasn't expecting to ever find something as good as K-On!, but I don't know, man. I think I might have set my expectations too high. That's why I took a pretty lengthy break from the genre, one long enough for romance to replace it as my favorite. Eventually, though, the fall 2022 season came by. I'm watching far more anime this season than I have in the past, so I had no intentions to watch anything more than I already was. That is until I saw YouTuber the homie Damien promote Bocchi the Rock to his audience, and I'm so glad he did, because for the first time since 2020, I can finally say that I found another masterpiece within the cute girls doing cute things genre. To explain the appeal of Bocchi the Rock, though, I must first explain social anxiety. I made a video a while back about social anxiety and how it's portrayed in anime. Since making it, though, I've seen far more anime which have continued to blow me away in their portrayals of it. Of those anime, the best to do it, in my eyes, is Welcome to the NHK, but Bocchi the Rock is a close second. For it to be this good of a portrayal, though, is an extreme accomplishment in itself, as Hitori's anxieties are only one of the things that makes this anime so good. I think what hits the hardest about it is that there isn't any life-changing moment that made her this way. She's just always been bad at talking to people, and it's just gotten worse for her with time. By the time she's in high school, she's consumed by her guitar, reading the comments on her YouTube videos to believe for just one moment that she's either built a connection with someone, or that she positively affected their life in some way. This is an aspect of her character, which, while not relatable to the average person, is something that just gets me every time. As a YouTuber myself, I find myself consumed in my work. I opt not to talk to people since I find the idea of making it as a creative to be more important than anything else. I've missed out on a lot of things that a teenager shouldn't have because of this. Whenever I regret the path I chose, I look at my YouTube comments, or see what my Discord server is up to. Each and every time, though, that dopamine rush fades away. One aspect of parasocial relationships that I feel like is never brought up is how the entertainer never gets anything out of it. At least the person being fooled into thinking a content creator knows them gets that illusion. It's simply an illusion that we internet personalities cannot have for ourselves. It's painful feeling like you're alone in this, that no one can understand. I think what makes it worse is that it only makes it harder to talk to people. I know what to say and how people will react to what I have to say, though. The people I know like talking to me, after all. They think I'm full of charm and charisma. These skills are ones I only ever got through watching shitloads of anime, writing stories and essays surrounding such stories, and learning how to voice act and sing. I feel like an alien who has to study humanity instead of experience it, with me frequently wondering if I even am human. I think we have a term for that. Oh yeah, right, it's autism. You'd think that with all this life experience too, that I wouldn't be the slightest bit anxious, but it's my overwhelming sense of self-hatred, that feeling that when someone gets to know who I truly am, that they'll just leave me, is one that is so fucking painful that I often get paralyzed. Of course, I'm not exactly like Hitori, but I saw a lot of myself in her. If she was able to join a band by the first episode, then what could prevent me from trying something new too? I'm already doing that by writing a light novel, but what if I took it further? What if I tried to join a community? I think it's the reassurance the series gives me that it'll all be okay, that makes me love it so much. What I love too is that being roped into a band didn't instantly fix Hitori's problems. She still sucks at talking to people and plays far worse with an audience, but it's in finally having friends and an outlet for people to truly see her creative expression that she's assured she can change. I think this is beautiful. The road towards getting what you want isn't always easy, and you may hate the steps you had to take toward it, but it's when people acknowledge you for the talents you've built to garner their attention that makes it all worth it. I want to find people to inspire. I want to change lives and give people something they can love in tough times, the same way anime like these do for me. I think I see more of Hitori in me than I thought. I'm shocked she's this likable to me, but I think that's great. And based on what I had to say about Hitori, you'd probably assume that Bocchi the Rock is far more plot-focused than your typical CGDTC series, and you'd be right. I'd say this anime is for those who read the plot synopsis for K-On! And wanted to watch a plot-based music series, only to be disappointed with its emphasis on characters over plot. Thankfully, this anime has the best of both worlds. It's shocking too because with the exception of K-On!, there's no other slice-of-life anime I've ever seen where I think every single character is likable. For this one though, I love them all a lot. Of course, some seem to be late bloomers who will get more development later, but even K-On! Has that, so I guess only time will tell. This anime is just so refreshing, and that it feels confident in telling a story while building these characters you can love, and I really like how well it juggles both. Sure, the plot seems simple, since it's just the characters advancing as musicians. What helps it truly stand out is how it uses its characters to make the story more interesting. Everyone has their motivations for playing in the band, all of which are established before they play at the big show. This is being written on the day episode 6 came out, and they've done a great job at making me feel the stakes for everyone involved. The character to handle this the best, of course, being Hitori. When she joins, she's paralyzed by having an audience, while in episode 5, she finally feels comfortable playing in front of the manager, with episode 6 having her play in public to promote her band, which is something she didn't even think she could do, but was able to with the help of an encouraging musician, who is also hilarious, by the way. Her character is progressing surprisingly fast, and even then, you still get the feeling that her development won't be over quite yet. Hell, even after episode 5, she's still extremely anxious. I just love how the animators portray this anxiety too. In general, the animation here is just excellent. Sure, Cloverworks ain't no slouch, producing bangers like Bunny Girl Senpai and My Dress Up Darling, but I'm just so surprised that the CGDCT series is getting this much love in the visual department. Only KyoAni really bothers making that genre look interesting. The highlight though is the previously mentioned visual depiction of social anxiety. The animators make sure you know what it feels like to be Hitori. When she overthinks things, they will animate some super dramatic thing from her head. And when she's paralyzed, her eyes and mouth will distort to an absurd extent. It's just so well done. Hitori isn't the only amazing character though, as everyone else is great. Of those characters, Ryou feels the most directly helpful toward Hitori. At first, she's nothing more than a quiet and quirky loner. Basically, she was cute using a trope I really found entertaining, but she didn't have much in the way of depth. My opinion shifted though when we got to learn more about her. It's when drinking coffee with Hitori that she begins to explain how she joined the band. Unlike the other two, she had prior experience as a bassist. She only ended up joining the band we know now because her old one sold out in her eyes. She wants to stay with a band which encourages their unique creative outlet. That's what art is for, after all. It's meant to inspire people through showing others what makes you stand out. This explanation was Ryou's response to Hitori's generic song lyrics. Hitori thought that appealing to the masses with a generic poppy tune would be what Ryou and the others wanted, but what they really wanted was for Hitori to feel comfortable in her writing, because if she enjoys the lyrics, then that passion is what will end up inspiring others. Sure, their appeal will be niche, but to those who share Hitori's struggles, the lyrics will hit them harder than anyone else. Lyrics aren't the be-all, end-all anyway. Hitori still has others in the band she can rely on, and Ryou demonstrates that better than anyone else. That's what I like about Ryou. She's not all that interesting on her own, but she inspires Hitori and eventually Kita to aspire for more. It's through her carefree attitude that you can truly see someone who cares about music, and that's what made episode 4 so damn good. If I were to pick a character who truly stands on their own, though, it would have to be Kita. She's not nearly as interesting as Hitori, but she definitely takes the second cake for it. What makes Kita interesting is how similar she is to Hitori, despite seeming like an opposite at first. She's extroverted and easy to talk to. Despite this, she fears failure. She joined the band because Ryou's playing inspired her to pick up guitar, only for her to stop coming when she realized how hard being a guitarist was. She didn't want to disappoint someone like Ryou, who she puts in high regard. Of course, though, she ends up being roped back into the band when she hears Hitori's playing and wants to see more of what she does. While Hitori fears talking to and connecting with others, Kita fears the failure of appearing vulnerable doing something she loves. She's another character in the series who needs to learn this, and pretty quickly does. I'm scared she won't stay interesting for much longer, as her arc appears to be over and the focus is straying farther away from her, but those are merely worries. With how good a job this show is already doing at making its characters feel important, I'm sure Kita will have more to do. That's not even to say she's confined to her thematic role in the series either. Just as you'd expect with a CG-DCT anime, she has a lot of really strong character interactions, like her inability to understand Hitori's social struggles or her crush on Ryou, making for some funny moments. While we're at it, I may as well mention how funny the show is. A lot of the funniest moments come from the character interactions and dialogue that naturally flows together without slowing down the pace of an episode. Any other laugh-out-loud moments come down to Hitori's anxieties and how they portray the horrifyingly relatable sense of agony you feel at her sucking to talk to others. Unlike Watamote, though, where I just feel bad for laughing at its main character's social struggles, Bocchi the Rock doesn't have that issue due to its more positive tone. Then, of course, some jokes are even carried by their animation, which should be evident by this point. Another technical thing I want to mention is the music. It's really good, but it could have been better. I feel like I would have liked it a lot more if there was another vocalist and maybe even an offbeat instrument choice, but then I guess it would be too similar to K-On! So you can call my point invalid if you so choose. One thing you might agree with me on then are the character designs. I think they're really good. They communicate the personalities well, and some of them, like Kita, are really cute. Hitori and Ryou look great too, by the way. I feel like there's someone I'm forgetting, though. Nijika is easily the least interesting character. She's not bad by any means, though, and episode 5 gave me a ton of hope that she can turn out to be something truly special. Before she gets to that moment, though, she's actually the first person from the band who Hitori meets. Her extroverted personality makes her a bit overbearing at first, but by the end, she ends up grateful that she introduced her to a totally new world. From what I can gather, Nijika made the band since she was working there with her family, and wanted to have her cake and eat it too. It's with her novice level of experience that she would have taken anyone who said yes to her, so it ended up working out great for both her and Hitori by the end. When it comes to her interactions with the rest of the band, she's the one who holds them together, mainly because she's the only one who doesn't have a negative mindset toward things. Unlike Kita, who seems similar to her at a glance, she ends up differentiating herself by her sheer will to play no matter what. Her weakness then ends up being her lack of natural talent. Not only that, but despite being the creator of the band, she doesn't do a very good job at bringing out everyone's strengths. This ends up being tested at episode 5, when the manager of the club, who also happens to be her older sister, ends up telling her that she has to audition to be a part of the next show. Just because she's family, it won't allow her to get special privileges, as she simply isn't ready yet. She takes this as a personal attack at first, until she realizes that she just needs to practice. The passion is there for her, so now she just needs to iron it out to become the person who her sister thinks she can be. It's when she does so that it's a legitimately satisfying moment for not only her, but everyone else too. I just want to mention how much fun her sister is too, as she's somehow one of the best characters in the show. She's not in it much, but her tsundere personality is really entertaining. I love how she tries to be encouraging and caring, but does such a bad job at admitting it that she just ends up sounding cold as a result. It's a really entertaining personality that works perfectly for the setting, and only makes the scene where she accepts them even better. To loop back to my point though, I think my opinion on Nijika changed quite a bit writing this. She's got a surprising amount of depth, and is just overshadowed by the admittedly more interesting characters around her. If there's anyone I want to see more of later on, it would have to be her. More than ever, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I made this not only to explain to fans of the series why they like it so much, but also to get the many people who ignored or didn't know of it to check it out. I really hope that I was able to sell you on this series, as it pains me how few people are checking it out. I realize that I may not even need this video for that purpose though, as the hype it's gathering from fans is making its score on my anime list skyrocket, and hopefully that'll make people check it out, the same way they did with Odd Taxi and Osama ranking last year. If anything, I'm just glad I got to return to this channel by talking about this series. The script was so much fun to write, and I'm really excited to continue talking about anime from here on out.